Welcome back. This is Redbeard. Today we're going to learn how to loop audio and make a whole song play in Recroom. You heard that right. This is an update video. And I'm back. Welcome to my channel. I do YouTube videos, mostly Recroom stuff with circuits, so stay tuned for more of those things. This is an update video. I did one in the past about looping music, but there were some times where you couldn't see what I was doing on the screen, so this one's going to be much cleaner for you. This video starts on desktop, where we're going to use a couple pieces of software to cut up the audio and then import it into Recroom. So follow along. Let's go do that. Okay, you need two pieces of software. First one is called Soundpad. This is what you're going to use to play the music into Recroom. It's only $5, so do that. Really, it's just $5. But if you don't have $5, you can go to their website and download the demo. I don't know what the demo restrictions are because I paid the $5, but from what I hear, that'll work. Next thing you need is Audacity. You're in luck, this one's free. This is a free audio editor. We're going to use this to cut the tracks up into 28 seconds. Recroom's samples are 30 seconds long, so we need something that's close to 30, which is 28. So let's jump into Audacity now. So I've got Audacity here, and we're just going to open up a song I have. I made this song. It gives me full rights, so YouTube doesn't snag them. It's called Rrriip. It's a nice little synthwave song. So you get the idea. So there's essentially one thing you're trying to do, which is put labels in here every 30 seconds. I do 28 seconds, and I've got a script that does it for me. So I'll show you how to do it without the script, and then we'll go from there and cut all the pieces out. Okay, so down here at the bottom, we've got start and length of selection. There's a couple options here, but this is what you want, start and length. So I'm going to put a 28 here. And you can see it just highlighted it here. Now what you want to do is turn that into a label. Let's see, where is that? Edit. Labels. Add label to selection. You can see that's Control B. And there's your first label. Then what you want to do is hover your cursor here till you see the yellow, and then click on that. And then put 28 down here again. And there's your next one. So you can go Edit, Labels, Add Label. And you basically just do that all the way through the song until you've got each of the pieces labeled. So 28. And I'm going to hit Control B. And so it just makes it a little bit quicker when I do that. 28. On the bottom down here, Control B. And then for this last one here, if it's a little bit longer than your song, we can trim that down. And that'll give us just exactly what we need. No sense in being longer. Oh, that didn't work. Let's try it again. Put 28 down here. There we go. B. Now, if I scroll to the right, you can see that this label goes longer than it needs to go. So I'm going to put my cursor here and then just zoom in with these buttons up here on the top. The next thing you want to do is don't grab the circle, grab the little arrow. It's kind of hard, but you just drag that over until it reaches right where you want it to end. Okay, so now that we have all of our labels, all you need to do is click on the label name and it highlights it, and then you go up to your file, export selected audio. This is Control-Shift-S. Once you do this a couple of times, you'll really jump into those keyboard shortcuts. So now what we're going to do is find my folder, Redbeard. Here's the one called Rrriip. I'm going to call this 1. Hit save. Hit OK. Wait for it. And then do it again. Now I'm going to hit Control-Shift-S. And that'll export that one. I'm going to call this 2. And then you just repeat that for each piece. And then eventually you'll have all your parts to your song. Export. last one here is 5. So I have 5 pieces. That means I'm going to need 5 samples when we get into Recroom. You can save this or close it, either way you want, and then we can go back into it. Let me show you real quick though that script I have. So I'm going to undo all of these. I call it, it's a macro, I'll call it cut for Recroom, and all it does is bloop, sticks a whole bunch of those out there, and then I just have to move this last one to cover the end of the song. So that's how I get through these really, really quick. Okay, now we can close that. I'm gonna not save it. And then what we do is we go to all our saved clips. So, Recroom, music, oops, not GIFs, music, Redbeard, Rrriip, there's all my parts. Now we go into Soundpad. Once you're in Soundpad, you can organize these. You see I got a whole bunch for Recroom and then a bunch of people I've helped out with sounds. And you come down to this one, right-click category, add category, and you can create subfolders. So in my Rrriip folder, I'm going to take all of these, select all, just drag them into here, and there they are. See, they're out of order too, so change file name, and then now they're in the order that I need to play them. On the right here, you have play count, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's a good way to track which one you're on. I've done a few of these. I had like 12 of these, and I always forget which one I'm on. So that's a good way to do that. You'll see that in a minute. Okay, now that we have all our track cut out into the pieces we need, we're gonna hop right back into Recroom. But we're gonna do that in screen mode. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna play Recroom from Steam. Hit that big green button, switch it over to non-VR, hit play. All right, we'll see you in the game. All right, here we are in screen mode. Maker Pen's already out. We're gonna open up our palette, go to gadgets, other gadgets, next page, grab a sampler, drop the sampler out there. We're gonna go right a little bit, drop another one. We need 5 of these. So here we go. 2, or 3, 4, and 5. Nice. Nice and close to each other. We'll go clean those up when we're in VR. All right, next thing you wanna do, get out of that mode with the pen, that create mode. I'm just gonna do edit. Otherwise you keep dropping these things. All right, next thing we do is we're gonna hit record. Wait till that 3 gets down to a 1. Alright, that's done recording, so I went on to the next clip. We're going to go ahead and hit save. I usually wait till that's done uploading before I go to the next one. And go right, hit record. We're going to wait till that 1 drops again. As soon as it touches, ready? Here we go. There we go. Just let it record through. That'll make sure it works. Oops. Save. All right, I'm going to fast forward through this because y'all don't need to see me do that, but here we go. So this is probably a good time for me to tell you a quick little story. I was playing paintball. This was back in the day when I first started. I was running around with a bunch of kids. We were all having a good time. Shot him a couple times, took him out. And he dropped his gun, as we all do, and he yelled, "I've been unarmed," which I thought was funny. So I said, "It's Recroom. We're all unarmed." Yeah, I'm not sure he laughed. He spawned out before he heard the punchline. But that's the last joke old Redbeard here has ever said in Recroom. So let that be a lesson to you. All right, that's done. All right, while we're here, let's go ahead and configure your samplers. There's really 2 things we need to look at. We've got 2D audio. If you check that, then the music is heard throughout the entire map. If you uncheck it, It's really good for sound effects. So if you look to the right, you'll hear this in your left speaker. If you look to the left, you'll hear it on the right speaker. Next thing you want, so let's check that. Next thing you want to do is this audio channel. I highly recommend, if you're doing these samples for music, to check music. If you're doing an ambiance, sort of background, crickets, car chase, traffic, use ambience. If you're doing special effects like a crash or an explosion or something, you want to use the special effects channel. And really what that does is it honors the player's settings. So if they have music turned down, it'll turn down the music for them, and you really want to do that. This is the delete sample button. This will just clear the sample out so you can re-record it. Alright, these next screens, we got sound start offset that trims the beginning of the track, sound end offset trims the end of the track off. If you're going for a perfect overlap, you can mess with those, but for the most part you won't need to. Interrupt current sound allows this sampler to play over itself, you don't need that, and the rest of these pages are useless. Alright, that's it. Next thing we do, save the room, and then I'll see you in VR. And we're back. Alright, now in VR, we're going to go ahead and edit these with some circuits. Basically, we're going to use a state machine to tie them all together and get it to loop. So follow along. I'm going to switch the camera view so you can actually see what I'm doing this time. Alright, here we go. Alright, the easiest way is to use state machines. Think of each sampler as a state, and then that'll make sense as we lay it out. So to do this, grab your maker pen, open your palette, go to Gadgets, Other Chips, second page, pull out a state machine, give ourselves some space. Now you need a state. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're actually going to use 6 states, and I'll show you why in a second. So we're going to do the first one. Because I like everything on a grid, I'm going to make these things really precise. So manipulate, give ourselves some space between each one, done editing. I'm going to select this and select the state, and I'm going to clone this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you can quick deselect just by dropping your pen. So I'm going to delete and just get rid of these. Now next thing to do is to just move your samplers. I'm just going to line them up here and start on the end. There we go. This will make it present real nice when you show somebody the fancy circuits you did. I'm a short one. Let's just clone this over, and then I'm going to eyeball it. Yeah, that'll do. Now we're going to move all of these over. This will look real nice. If somebody ever comes in to see your room and help you with circuits, it's really nice if these are just lined up and look really clean, because then they can follow what's going on. Alright, now you take your wire tool, and you're going to wire from the body of the state machine to the first state, and then and so on down the line to the last one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire this one all the way back to the beginning, and you'll see it loops. So next thing I want to do is create a button. I love these new buttons because they don't fall. It's in props, dynamic button. I'm going to rotate that so it's back on the grid. Now, configure, click on it, and I'm going to change this to say play. Play. And then I'm going to scale this down because I don't need it so big. And I'm going to clone this. And let's rename this one. It's technically a reset, so let's do reset. Reset, that'll do. Give us a little space. Okay, so with both of these selected, I'm just going to move them over here. There we go, that looks good. Stick this guy back here. Okay. So I don't want these to play until someone hits play. So I'm going to take the red pin, which is when button is pressed, and put it in this transition. So it's going to stay here until somebody hits that button. Who's that somebody going to be? Is it me? Is it you? It's me. There, see? It played. It only played once. So the other thing you notice is, look how quick it went. That was quick. So let's hit configure, and we're going to change each of these. Minimum time and state. If you remember, they were 28 seconds. So we're going to put 28 on each of these. Input 28. It's not so bad when there's only 5, but you get into some longer songs. Ooh. You can clone states, so you can set this on the first one before you clone them over. The problem with that is they don't always keep their values that you put in. But it's worth doing. Oh, remember this last one's not 28 seconds. I don't remember how long it is, but because in this case, it's just gonna go back to this preset state. It doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna put 28 in there. If you want this to loop perfect, remember, look at your Soundpad for how long this last sampler is, and then when you configure this, put that time and state to be how long that is, and then it'll loop perfect. Okay. So the way state machines work, if you configure this state, you got value 1, value 2, value 3. If I put a 1 here, when this state is active, the red pin here on the machine pushes a 1. So you can do lights, so you can have a 1 here and a 0 there. So turn the light on, turn the light off. And then when it's in that state, it'll turn the light on, goes to that state, it'll turn the light off. But we're not doing that here. These pins this is while it's, when it hits the state. So when that light clicks, do it. Maybe I'm not the one who's gonna hit the button. This is existential. All right, bam, there. So that light is on, so we got a single pulse that came out of there. While it's in this state, we get a constant 1. When it leaves this state in 28 seconds, we'll get another ping that comes out of there. And we can see that. Let's go gadgets, other chips, not message, output. Boop. So let's put one there, yeah, one there. So I'm gonna wire this up to there, wire the green one to there, and the blue one to there. All right, so reset doesn't work. Take your wire, take the red pin to the reset. Reset. Sends us back to here. So when I hit play, watch that one. That one, it's going to turn into a 1. And then this will turn into a 1. And then when it leaves, this will turn into 1. Come on, but there we go. So we saw a 1 there. There. Now it's in state, so we get a 1. And 28 seconds later, we'll get another 1 out of here. That's important. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this while in state and turn this sampler on. Take your wire tool, take the green one, and wire it to the red pin. Play on signal. There it goes. It's playing. You can do it with the red pin as well. It doesn't actually matter. And this will play regardless if it went to another state. We can change that, but for music, don't need to mess with it. It'll play just fine. So we gotta wait till that's done. No, we don't. Yes, we do. I was gonna reset it, but again, it's still just gonna keep playing. We're gonna fix that. All right, delete these. Now, let's just wire all these up. Red to red. That one's red. Let's just do red. And for consistency, let's take this green one off, and we'll just do red. Essentially, when this starts, it pings a 1 and starts a sample. All right, that's the basics. That's really all you need. But if you want a better control over your play and your reset, all it's going to do is go to here, and whatever sampler is playing, it's just going to play it. So what we want to do is when you hit reset, to turn all those off. So the way we do that, take select, and we're going to multi-select. So select each sampler, take your wire tool, And if you hold your wire here, it says stop on signal, which is the pink one. So we're going to wire this red pin from the reset button to the pink one. And you can pick any one of these samplers because we multi-select. And when you let go, it wires them all up. That's it. That's really it. So if I hit play, it's going to play the music, which is exactly what we want. And then 28 seconds later, we'll go on to the next sample. Wait for it. Bam. It's playing the next sample. It's pretty seamless. Now when I hit reset, it's going to hit stop on all the samplers, especially the one that's playing, and reset the state machine to this first one. Bam. Alright, that's basically it. See, told you it's pretty easy. Remember, you followed me on the desktop where we use Audacity to cut the clips into 28 seconds. Then we use Soundpad and we played Recroom from Steam in screen mode. Then we imported those all into each of the samples. When we got back into here, we used one state machine and a bunch of states. And remember, those states basically have the same settings and then a couple buttons. Pretty straightforward. So below, I'll put the links to Audacity and Soundpad. You also should check out our Recroom Discord channel. Some great help in there. The Circuits channel is really great people. The Build channel is really great people. One of my favorite ones to just kind of scroll through is the Art channel. There's a whole bunch in there. Go check it out. It's pretty sweet. All right, remember to subscribe to me if you like these. I'm going to keep making more tutorials.